Hey guys, today's video is going to be the perfect palette tag, and I actually do not have a lot of eyeshadow palettes, so I have a palette for every category and I tried really hard not to repeat them, and that's about it. So I don't have any left over, so you will see all of my eyeshadow palettes in this video. I buy a lot of drugstore trios and quads, but I just don't buy a lot of eyeshadow palettes. So I have the most popular ones, but that's really it. Alright, first question is best packaging. And I would probably have to say, I know no one will say this, and it's not for function purposes, it's because I think it's the most luxurious and like pretty. It's like a velvety packaging. I just love the Naked packaging. It's just really, really nice. I feel like this is the most high-end feeling one that I have. I do love the Naked 2 and 3 packaging, but it just doesn't feel as nice. I feel like you pull this out, it's got like some nice texture, it's fuzzy, it's like very pretty, and I like the color contrast on this. I just think it looks stunning. The only thing is it collects a lot of fuzz, so it's kind of a bummer, but I would say for appearance only, like the most appealing to me package wise would be the Naked one. Second question, color payoff. I would say also it would be an Urban Decay palette. This Urban Decay Smoked palette, these colors are very intense, like very intense. They're so pigmented. So I would say this for sure. I've messed up in eye look before. I was doing a more subtle eye with like this color and this color, and they're both, it was just so much, like you just touch your brush and that's it. That's all you need. But I think this is like a really great color payoff palette for sure. I feel like I will probably never hit pan on any of these. The next question, most versatile. I would probably say the Naked 2 palette. I feel like it doesn't matter what color eyes you have. If you have blue eyes, there's some golds and bronzes. If you have green eyes, there's some pinky purpley, plummy colors. If you have brown eyes, there's a lot of like orangey, copper, taupey shades. It just doesn't matter what color eyes you have. And you can do a really pretty matte look with these colors. You can do like a silver smoky eye, a silver and black smoky eye. I love these colors right here, the plummy colors, pinky plummy. They have really pretty bronzy gold shades. I mean, this copper one too, I think is fairly unique. Good brow bone, good highlight. It's just really great. And this is matte black for liner. I just love this palette. This is probably one of my most used palettes, and I've used this. I've done, I don't know how many weddings anymore, but I've used this in almost all the weddings but one, and I have another wedding coming up in April, and I'm going to be using this, I think, most likely to honor. She has blue eyes, and these have just the prettiest golds ever. So I would definitely say most versatile for me is this palette. This is one of the most complete palettes that I have. There's brow bone. I can do my brows in here, highlight, everything in this palette. I really love it. And best for travel. This is a palette I don't use super often. It's the NYX Butt Naked Eyes palette. This is definitely best for travel. Look at this mirror. Look how huge that is. And you can set it at different angles. It goes back this far, up like this, up like that, up like that. So it doesn't matter. It'll like stay up however you have it, which I really love. So it doesn't matter where you're sitting or what angle you have to be at. You know, the mirror can kind of work with you. And then these shadows are huge and awesome. There's, I think, 3 times 18 shadows in here. 7 of them are matte, and they have matte highlight, matte like medium colors. They have matte black. It's just amazing. You can do anything you want with this. I just think this is like such a good palette. I don't use it enough. You can do like a purple and gray smoky eye. You can do light pinky colors. It's so great. It's so great. And another reason why it's best for travel, it has 4 blushes, 2 highlights, and a bronzer. You know, these are not my favorite, but a lot of times when I'm just traveling for a day or two, I bring this for like all my face products, and this is so light that it does make a good contour just for that day if you have like light colored skin. And then these highlights aren't the best, but they'll do for sure. They're kind of powdery, but they're also really smooth, And these blushes are so freaking pigmented. They are so, so pigmented. And you've got like a darker, like rosy colored one. This is like a brighter one with some golden shimmer. You have this like soft baby pink one, and then this completely matte, like bright fresh color. I mean, this is a really good palette. I don't regret buying it at all, but I wish I used it more. It's the only thing I don't is where I have my palettes, which I'll do a makeup collection eventually, is too thin to stack this, so it's never with the rest of my palettes. It's always in a drawer, so that's one of the reasons I never use it. But when I travel, I always think, oh, this one, I'll bring this one. So yeah, but I think best for travel, absolutely. You can do blush, bronzer, highlight, all your eyeshadow, your liner, everything with this palette, and then you just need to bring like a few other things. Plus you get options like what kind of blush you want. You have 4 to pick from. Which kind of highlight do you want? You have 2 to pick from. So I just think that's really amazing. And I skipped, they do have a second one that they came out with this Christmas. I skipped it just because I don't use this one enough. I went and looked at it and I do like it, but it wasn't super drastically different from this one, and I just decided to skip because I don't use this one enough. Very sad, but I could not tell you enough about that palette. And then my biggest regret would be this Tarte palette, and it's not because I don't like it. The colors are beautiful. I don't hit on these too much. Some of the golds I do. I love the middle quads, and this one up here is stunning. I never grab for this ever, and it's like big, but it's slim, so I don't really like to bring this to travel too much. And I just don't really, I don't love it, but I don't hate it. I think the shadows are really good. I just don't know why. I never ever reach for this. This has mattes, it has brow bone colors. I can do my brows on this one as well. And it has like really fun colors if, you know, that's your thing. So I don't know why, but I just don't ever reach for this. So I would say this, I've used this probably 3 times since I bought it, and I've had it a year and a half. So I would say this is my biggest regret, just because it wasn't worth it to me because I don't use it. I might eventually end up giving this to someone just because I never ever use it. Best color names. I know this, I'm really simple when it comes to stuff. So I appreciate the Lorac Pro palette for that. Like when you're describing a color called Booty Call, I mean, you know. Yeah, so you know, you always describe it. You're like, oh, booty call, it's like a pink shimmery color. Well, how about just calling it light pink? You know what I mean? Thank you, Lorac Pro palette. You nailed it. You nailed it. Even the creative names like slate. What do you think when you think of slate? Like a gray tone blue. Deep purple is a deep purple. I am a simple person. I appreciate these names. I think the Urban Decay names are very naughty. I don't like saying them out loud. I am too. And yeah, I appreciate the Lorac Pro for names. I am very happy that they did what they did. Thank you. My least used palette it's this one. I do have 2. These are both the e.l.f. 32 warm palettes. This one came out 3 years ago. And this one came out this year. I've been using this one a decent amount, so I'm not going to say this is my least used yet. I've only had it for like a month. But this one definitely, I use it a ton when I first got it, like a ton. This is like the only thing I wore. And then I got the Naked and the Naked 2 within 2 or 3 months of each other. And I just stopped using this one almost completely. And I've only used this one once, I think, in a year. So I don't ever use this. I've literally, I mean, once, maybe in like 2 years. But I love it so much. The colors are amazing. I mean, there's just so much you can do with it. There's matte colors. Like you could do, one of my favorite brow powder colors is in here. I don't want to keep using it up so much, so maybe I can travel with it. But you have matte highlights, matte midtones, matte darker colors. It's such a good palette. I feel like there's a really good mix of matte and shimmery. So I just feel like it's amazing. And I love warmer colors. That's just like my favorite ever. And then if you don't already know this one, you have not seen any of my videos, but most used, most loved, Desert Island, the Lorac Pro palette. I cannot live without this palette. I'm already upset that I've hit pan on 3 of the shades because I'm worried that once they're gone, I will need a new one and I'll have to give this one to somebody. But this is the greatest palette ever. I use this to supplement all other palettes. The Naked 2 and Naked 3 I feel like are the most other complete palettes that I have, but for the Naked 1 I feel like I need this for sure. And then I like to use some drugstore, I love to use a lot of my drugstore quads or trios, or single eyeshadows like the L'Oreal Infallible. And this is like, I feel like I can use those because I have this, because I have a brow bone color, because I have a highlight color, because I have a brown or black liner color. I can do my brows with this color. It's just, I love this palette. I will never be without this. If I ever hear of them discontinuing this, I will probably buy like 7 and keep them for eternity when I need them, when I start using these up. I'm about to hit pan on my 4th shadow and I just bought this summer. I love it. It's so great. I would recommend this over any palette I have in here. If you're debating on the Naked palettes or this, get this. In my opinion, this is amazing. And it's also good for travel because it's really slim. I do think the mirror is kind of tiny and it doesn't stand up, so I don't really use it very much. Oh my gosh, this palette is the greatest thing to ever happen to eyes. I love it. I love it so much. And that's it for the perfect palette tag. Yes, go ahead and let me know what your guys' most favorite palette is down below. If you want to see any tutorials with any of those or anything, go ahead and let me know. And I hope you guys are having a good day, and I'll see you.